Today on Missing Number, ToeJam and Earl's KKK connection, the bloody backstory surrounding an old 90s game, and an uncommon Pokemon Silver game. Missing Number starts now. ToeJam and Earl 3 features alien protagonists that have urban black and hip-hop qualities. Early in the game's development, the villain was actually a member of the Ku Klux Klan. This was revealed back in 2003 when ToeJam and Earl creator Greg Johnson, who's half black, half white, did an obscure interview with the now-defunct Xbox Nation magazine. Johnson told the publication that he wanted to bring cultural diversity to the games industry through games. Sega was supportive of this, however, turning the game's boss into a racist KKK Klansman who wears a pointy white hood proved to be too much for Sega. Johnson told Xbox Nation that the KKK design of the game's antagonist, who's named Anti-Funk, was actually unintentional. It was just one of many designs that an artist made, and when Johnson saw the artwork, he said, quote, "Wow, that's funny, that looks like a Ku Klux Klan hat." And then I thought about it for a second, and I said, well hey, what better villain for these black characters who are spreading the funk than the love, and this kind of oblique reference? Because it wasn't obvious, it was open to interpretation. Ultimately, however, Sega forced Anti-Funk to be redesigned, which resulted in him being a generic green skull. But despite the change, gaming media outlets still received review copies of ToeJam and Earl 3 that contained the KKK version of the boss. Surprisingly, for the past 18 years, not a single image or gameplay clip of the white-hooded Anti-Funk was ever released to the public, but all of that changed in September 2021 when pre-release prototypes of the game were uploaded online as part of Project Deluge. A Twitch streamer named Sabal uploaded gameplay footage and cutscenes of what the old version of Anti-Funk looked like. Here he is in action.
Big Earl, you like my pom-poms?
Funkify! 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 Jen, a Funkify. Funkify! 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 Funkify!
In case there was any doubt as to whether or not Anti-Funk was really part of the KKK, or just looked like he was part of the Klan, the in-game description of him reads, quote, "The leader of an ancient earthling cult. Notice the hat. Who is he really?" So the game not only points out the hat in text, but Anti-Funk even verbally mentions the hat in a cutscene after you defeat him.
I didn't really want to be the Anti-Funk anyway. I don't even like this hat. You can tell them back on Funkatron that I didn't mean what I said about refusing to be the Funkapotamus.
In the retail version of the game, that hat line is cut out.
I didn't really want to be the Anti-Funk anyway. You can tell them back on Funkatron that I didn't mean what I said about refusing to be the Funkapotamus.
Also, when you defeat Anti-Funk in the September 9th, 2002 build of the game, text on the screen says, "Congratulations, you kicked his butt." But in the August 6, 2002 build, the text uncharacteristically says, "Yippee skippy, you win." Additionally, before starting one particular level, a pre-rendered video plays that shows a black female chorus singing, while a white-hooded Anti-Funk appears on screen.
Reach deep inside your soul. Stay strong in the power. The Anti-Funk will fall before you in its final hour.
The latest prototype of the game is dated September 19th, 2002, and according to Sabal, the KKK version of Anti-Funk is actually present in this build. That means the racist Anti-Funk was still in the game just days before the US retail build of the game was made. There's a darkness that shrouds an old obscure 90s game, not just because of its mystery-laden premise, but because of the mysterious and horrific backstory surrounding the title. The game in question is Drowned God Conspiracy of the Ages. It's a sci-fi point-and-click puzzle adventure game that imagines a world where human history is a lie. Ancient aliens created mankind and influenced the events of humanity. Great historical figures and secret societies are part of a giant conspiracy, and all conspiracy theories are tied under one grand unifying theory. In the game, you have to uncover the truth by traveling to otherworldly realms to collect ancient relics that are key to solving the mystery of mankind.
What were we if if our souls have lived before.
Your potential is known to us.
We are broken. All is lost. The knowledge drowned.
There was terror on the land as the hills and the mountains.
Nonsense. There is no up or down.
Am I the king of depravity, the lord of the flies, the wickedest man in the world?
Fix me. Make an old man happy. And I'll tell you some more.
You're looking for angels. We'll find them. I found you.
You can return to us in the time of revelations.
Overall, Drowned God is pretty surreal and atmospheric. It was created by an Englishman named Richard Horne, also known as Harry Horse, who was a children's author, illustrator, and political cartoonist. The game itself is based on a forged manuscript that Horne wrote decades earlier. The illustrated diary was about conspiracies and prophecies, and experts were duped into believing it was from a 19th century poet that shared the same name as Richard Horne. The Drowned God creator tried selling the diary for money, but his hoax was ultimately uncovered. A sequel to Drowned God titled Cult was planned, but it never happened. 8 years after Drowned God's release, Horne's wife Mandy was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, which made her unable to walk and talk. The couple ended up moving to the Shetland Islands to be closer to Mandy's parents, but Horne reportedly hating living in the subarctic archipelago. As Mandy's health worsened, Horne suffered from depression and was prone to fits of rage. According to the Sunday Times, Horne punched a hole in the wall after a social worker disputed Mandy's right to disability benefits. Even when working on Drowned God, the game's producer Algie Williams told PC Gamer in 2021 that Horne had extreme mood swings, and that partially made it very difficult to work with him. On January 9, 2007, two friends from New Zealand visited the couple, but Harry was said to be unhinged, as he proclaimed, quote, "It's a wonderful night for a killing." Mandy seemed distraught and didn't want her friends to leave, but they left anyway. The next morning at 9:40 a.m., the two friends returned to the couple's house to retrieve a jacket that they left behind. But when they arrived at the house, they found Richard and Mandy dead on the bed. The media initially reported this as a Romeo and Juliet suicide pact, but later it was reported that Horne murdered Mandy. She was stabbed over 30 times, as she had defensive wounds on her arms. Meanwhile, Horne cut and stabbed himself 47 times, and mutilated his own genitals. Not only that, but Horne also murdered their pets. Some wonder how it's possible for someone to cut and stab themselves that many times, and then mutilate their own genitals. Police have apparently never released the full report of what happened. Was this a murder, mercy kill, or did someone else kill the couple? It's a mystery that eerily fits the theme of Drowned God. There are some strange bootleg Pokemon games out in the wild, but there's one that seems to be uncommon. If you search online for pirated Pokemon games or Pokemon ROM hacks, you'll get plenty of search results for weird, obscure, and oftentimes crappy Pokemon clones. There are many videos and articles about these games, but none of the ones that I found ever mentioned Pokemon Perfect Silver 2002. A viewer named BF Altonator tipped me off about it. He said he bought the game at a market while on holiday, and thought it was a real Pokemon game for the longest time. Judging by the name of the game, Perfect Silver seems to be based on the official Pokemon Silver game that came out in 1999 for the Game Boy Color. Fortunately, Altonator still had Perfect Silver's cartridge box and took these screenshots. This may be the first time this has been shown online. I tried looking for other online images of the game's box, but I couldn't find any. The box's artwork depicts Ash, Misty, and some kind of prehistoric looking bird with a strange device on its back. Meanwhile, on the back of the box, the game's description reads, quote, "There exists a kind of peculiar creature on the planet Z named Mechanical Monster who lives together peacefully with human being. Accidentally, the mystical boy Tazon got to know the mechanical monster Lalo and became close friends with him at the bordering area of Western Continent reigned by the Empire Army on that beautiful planet. And when combating Shal, the military officer of Empire Army, they fell into the underground world unexpectedly, where it's totally different to the above one, as well as the mechanical monsters turn against humankind and attacked on the villages. Your mission is to bring peace to the underground people and help them back to their homeland, and above with their courage and wisdom. On the bottom of the box, there's also text that reads, quote, "This official seal is your assurance that Nintendo has approved the quality of this product. Always look for the seal when buying games and accessories to ensure complete compatibility." However, the seal is not there, and instead, there's just a picture of the bird. Oh, and in case you were wondering, the game has mild violence. As for what this game actually is, here it is in action, courtesy of Altonator. The game is actually a fan-translated ROM of a Japanese Zoids game called Liger Zero Mythical Silver Beast. In Japan, Zoids is a science fiction multimedia franchise that features large biomechanical animals. In June 2001, the official Liger Zero game was released for the Game Boy Color. Perfect Silver is just a clone of Liger Zero, with one main difference being the title screen. Zoids and Pokemon are similar, since they both have turn-based combat, but the former is a little bit more stylish, since cutscenes of attacks will actually play during combat.